Huh? Hello, me hearties. A very good morning to you. It's just me, Scotty McClue. I thought I'd pop up and see how you all were, say hi, see what's happening in the real world. Fantastic stuff. Lovely to be with you this morning. And dinky-doo to all the TikTokers. Welcome to my live TikTok's Top Talk Show. This is where it's all happening. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 about Scotty McClue live, big style across the internet. Fantastic. We're also streaming on the YouTube channel. If you have a penchant for the YouTube channel, you can get on there and come and join us and make sure you subscribe, of course. Lovely to have you all with us. Dinky-Doo. Oh, my goodness me. I can't believe it. There's Ken and there's Old Man coming and joining us. Follow us as soon as you come on, guys. We need to build our followers. The wonderful John Cox says, hello, Scotty. Hello, John, and Dinky-Doo to you. Lovely to have you with us. Have you subscribed, John? Please do. It's not very obvious, the subscribe button. I think it's up in the bottom right of the banner at the top. Good morning from Greece, Mr. McClue. Your take about Meghan and Harry trailer on Netflix. I don't really know what that pair are playing at. You know, it all will be revealed, I am quite sure. But I hear all sorts of different stories about them. And of course, it's very interesting that we have a member of the royal family, a senior member of the royal family now, although he's still quite young. And suddenly he gets married, and the next thing is he's off. So I don't know. I've got my concerns there. Hi, Scotty. Good morning. Good morning, Francis. How lovely to have you with us, and a very warm welcome. Now then, lots and lots of you joining us, which is wonderful. We like that. Thank you very much for that, Dinky-Doo. And get following as soon as you possibly can. There's new videos for you, both on TikTok and YouTube. So please have a good look at these, like them, share them. They're made with love for you. If you see me looking up, I'm at the YouTube camera. If you see me looking down, I'm at the TikTok camera. If you see me looking right down, I'm reading your messages. Hi, Scotty. Great camera work today. Looking good. Are we looking a lot better? Thank you, Mr. Martin. That actually means a lot to me. Good evening, the Lord Duke of Dundee, says Onion Badgie. Now, the reason Onion Badgie says good evening is because he's watching from down under in Australia. I should put my jackaroo on. Ah, the great Sir McClue, Robert Stringer. What a privilege to have you with us. Thank you for following OMG. I did a video on OMG yesterday. Excuse me if you get one or two wee clicks. I've just had the dreaded lurgy, and I apologize for my face. Not for the rash from shaving, just for my face, you know? Thank you for following Dinky-Doo, Scotty Nikita. How lovely to have you with us, and Dinky-Doo. I've got a little bit of Scottish in my blood. Ah, Tennessee. We're very wary of asking people where they're from now. After that incident last week at Buckingham Palace. It sounds to me like a storm in a teacup. In German, that would be ein Sturm in ein Wasserglas. OMG, boss. Dinky-Doo, Cameroon. Hi from Edinburgh. Lovely to have you with us, Buzz. Hello, Scotty, Dinky-Doo. Hello, Ewan. Lovely to have you with us. Kamaraha. And Susan has joined us. Fantastic. It's a good morning, Scotty. Good morning, Susan. Lovely that you could come and join us this morning. Fantastic. I'm being praised for the cameras this morning. Apparently it's looking a lot better, and we like that. So there you have it. Now then, what do we got here? Oh, Buzz has sent me a rose. I thank you, Buzz. Do you know Buzz? A wonderful man sent me 800 roses last week. What about that? Have you got the tea with you? Ah, yes. We've got the trusted tea. Here is the tea. Because I should have been on at 10 o'clock. But I thought, no, we don't go on till we've had a cup of tea. So that's why we're a little bit later. Are you pro-union or independence? Well, pros and cons. But let me tell you, I used to be very keen on the union because I felt it must have served us. And the nationalists were a kind of slightly edgy fringe group at that time. But the way Scotland's been treated by the last couple of Tory governments, independence beckons. Independence beckons. Come on, independence, on you come, son. Because the problem that we've got is Brexit. That should never, ever, ever, ever have been allowed to happen. England should eject Scotland, says Matt. Yes, Matt, but you would starve to death without Scotland's goods and services. Are you wearing a kilt? I'm not this morning. Get rid of Scotland. Well, that would be a good thing if England wants to send Scotland away. Bring it on, my dears. What do we got here? Are you married? Says the Vino. The Vino, don't be ridiculous. Who would have me? Now then, what do we got here? Me, myself, and I. English are the landlord. Everyone else is the tenant. Well, you see, that would imply that the union is false and that it's not a union of equals, 50%. And that's what it was supposed to be. So maybe Queen Anne told a few whoppers. Well, I know she did. I know she did. So there we are. You see the difference? In England, you've got the squires, the lords, and they feel that the ordinary people would never manage without them. In Scotland, you've got the lairds, and the lairds know that they would never manage without the people. You see, that's the difference. That's a myth, negative impact in the UK. Huge. Tories put the con in Conservative, well, they have done this time. Although Tories consecutive Conservative governments, see what I just did there, have done serious damage to the economy so that their greedy friends could pocket the taxpayers' money. And that's been happening for years. You go back to 1965, Dr. Beeching's cuts on the railways. What a mess. We had the most amazing integrated rail system, met with all those Clyde steamers and the West Coast ferries. Oh dear. Second that, says Michael. What are you seconding, Michael? Right, has everybody followed? No, you have not. Guys, if you're watching, please follow. Excuse me, pardon me there. Freedom, says Mark Smith. Yes, but the freedom is very hard won. You've got to remember Scotland has actually virtually always been independent, and the last 313 years have been a blip. You see? Look at it that way. Did you ever catch that person that tried to steal the artwork on the wall east of Mombasa? Jay, you should know there is nothing east of Mombasa except the ocean and the rest of the world eventually. So that's a wee bit silly. Get rid of the Green Party and it might happen. Long live the hunters. No, I don't know about the hunters, Stuart. I mean, I don't hunt. And I don't shoot. I used to. I don't. I'm a crack shot. I'm very good with the 12 bores and the .303, all that stuff. But we don't do that because you can pop down to the supermarket, and if you get something near closing time, you'll get a roast chicken for £1, all plucked and cooked. Careful how you say all that. So there we are. So the Green Party, yes. I don't really know what the point in that is. That's a bit of a con. I mean, yes, there is global warming. There's nothing to do with cows farting, nothing to do with diesel cars, nothing to do with emissions, nothing to do with closing the coal-fired power stations, fossil fuels, nothing to do with stopping oil. You know, that's not what's heating the world up. The world is heating up naturally, and it will compensate when the time is right. So there you have it. So don't be drawn into the green argument. That's a bit of a con. Hi, mate. Any advice on hair loss? Oh, I'd give you lots of advice. I've lost most of mine. Follow us, guys, as soon as you can. Thank you to Phil and to the Baron. Lovely, lovely human beings following Scottie McClue. Guys, all get following and get onto YouTube and subscribe. We need to really get this YouTube channel out there, guys, as well as the TikTok, because I'm working in tandem. Good morning, Scottie. What do you think of Starmer wanting to ditch the House of Lords? Well, did that not come from Gordon Brown? Now, Gordon Brown's a very clever man, but let's look back to his premiership, you know, and what have you. The House of Lords has got pros and cons. Yes, that's not a reflection on the people. The House of Lords, one of the negatives of the House of Lords is that they got rid of hereditary peers. Now, these people took with them a wealth of experience. So that was silly. House of Lords used to be the highest court in the land. The other weakness is that political parties use it as a dumping ground for people that have proved unelectable, but they want them on side. So that's not good, you know. But a pro for the House of Lords, I would say, is it's worth its weight in gold because it keeps the Commons in check. And the bulk of the people in the House of Lords are senior and have been elected at some point, you know. I remember somebody saying to me, Scottie, you've not got a knighthood and you should have had one years ago. And would you consider going into the House of Lords? And I think, do I really, with the limited time I've got left in my life, want to be sitting in central London listening to a lot of argy-bargy, you see? My lords, with respect, Lee Bandoni. Lee, what are you doing to me, you beautiful, kind man? Guys, this is Lee. If you look at your TikTok screens, Lee sent me 800 red roses the other night. Now, I was concerned he might bankrupt himself. But he's back in business doing it again. And I don't know how he's doing it, but he's running two simultaneously. And he must have sent about 500 or 600 red roses already. Thomas is also sending me red roses. So there we are. So what do you think of Keir Starmer's special plan to give Scotland more power, make their own trade deals? Well, Scotland has always traded with Europe, but you see, Brexit has killed Scotland, has killed the UK's economy, stone dead, absolutely stone dead. And I predicted it 6 years ago. I said economic annihilation. and political fragmentation. And the half-witted idiots that say to the independence seekers, you had your vote and you lost. No, everybody lost, and we had a vote 8 years ago, well pre-Brexit. Lee Bandoni, what are you doing? This wonderful man is still sending me roses. And every little bit of that is bringing joy. Because I can use that for a little advert on TikTok, a little advert on YouTube. If any of you are feeling flush and generous, please feel free to give a little bit. But Scottie McClue is free at the point of enjoyment. So I'm just letting you know, but Lee's kindness is just overwhelming. Lee, stop. He's just sent another 300. So trade deals, Britain, right, we begged and begged to join the single market in the 60s. President Charles de Gaulle of France said, no, non roast beef, which was very disingenuous of him. See what I just did there. I'll look it up later. Very disingenuous of him when you think what the UK did for France during the Second World War. Liberated it. Anyway, eventually we begged and we begged and we begged. Lee, stop. Is at 500 again. That must be 1,000. Harry has sent me sunglasses. Did you see my sunglasses? I'm from Glasgow. I'd love independence from the Highlanders. Most of Glaswegians are descended from the Highlanders. If you go to Glasgow Central Station, where the bridge goes over Argyle Street, that used to be known as the Hielanmen's umbrella. Lee, this is impressive. You are so kind. Who's your dues for the Silver City? Smiley Jim Mackay, I'm just chaffing away. Fit like you, who's your dues? Aye, Grant, I'm missing a Granite City. They're a new thing on the television about it. So I'll be watching, and a beautiful day like the day, the buildings will be sparkling. Sparkling and smiling. Marshall will be looking bra. Fit like that, no, I get kind of folk in the day. Lee is still sending gifts. He's just sent another 540. Lee, you must be well over the 1,000. DINKY-DOO, lovely to have you with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Scottie McClue. Hello, sir. Hello, C4. Abolish the monarchy. Ronnie, that would be the stupidest thing anybody could ever even think about. I mean, it will never happen because, like in America, the Stars and Stripes flag is their symbol of authority. In the UK, the crown is the symbol of authority. The monarch is the curator and custodian of the crown, our symbol of authority. The Scottish monarchy, which is what we have now, because Scotland took over the English crown in 1603. Scottish monarchy predates Scotland. Scotland's had a monarchy going back 2,347 years. So well before Jesus Christ, the ancestors of Ree, as in Le Roi, the king, the ancient Celtic kings. And that was the start of your monarchy going back there. The modern monarchy, around 900, Kenneth MacAlpin, crowned at Danad Fort, just outside Loch Gilpid in Argyll, where my family come from. So Ronnie, only a half-witted idiot would write something like abolish the monarchy. So I think you need a wee IQ test. Now, what have we got here? You're looking forward to Christmas. I am, C4. Always look forward to Christmas because it's the birth of Christ is celebrated. That tea's lush. Lee has joined us again. Lee, your kindness is just outstanding. Can I get a shout out for my boy Kyle, who got engaged to his lovely new French girlfriend, Wee John? Of course, you can have a shout out for Kyle. What's your thoughts on the RMT, Scotty? Well, I can go back to when the unions were very, very, very powerful everywhere. And then Thatcher smashed them with the miners. I'm sure it was all highly illegal on the part of the government. And I think they've apologized and pardoned a lot of the miners. So that was bad news. And that set up a class war and divided the nation, split the nation. But the RMT, I think they need to stick to their guns. And all this rubbish about they will lose the support of the public. No, they won't. Because the public in the UK today see the government for what they are and are calling them out. So I think the RMT really need to stick to their guns here. Very, very strong. And I do admire Mr. Lynch. He is just excellent at his craft. You know, and he's quite right. Because the railways, as I say, they were smashed in 1965. And they've been a target of government ever since. And there's huge money goes to shareholders. You know, and we need to say there's plenty of money. You know, and when you look at it, they were offered, was it 4%? Now inflation's running at between 11 and 12% right now. So that's a huge pay cut. So if you were to add inflation, let's say 12%, because we don't want to be negotiating every week. So let's go for 12%. And then say you stuck your 4% on top of that. That's effectively 16%. Now, I would think that would be more acceptable to the RMT. And I think the government should look at that. Because we were told by a former Prime Minister, there's no money tree. Then we found £250 billion to squander on Brexit. Then we found billions more to squander on useless PPE during the pandemic. So there you go. So there's plenty of money. It's just a question of, is it in the right hands? Yeah. So we need a redistribution of wealth. This was what panicked the capitalists about Jeremy Corbyn almost becoming the premier. Almost. Very near. Morning, Scotty. Morning, Lee. Lee, what can I say to you? You become a top viewer. Gordon Brown, a very clever man. He crashed our economy. No, but that doesn't mean he personally is not clever. He wasn't a great chancellor, and he certainly wasn't a great prime minister. But Blair had ensured that he'd only left him a full chanty, as we say in Scotland. Talk to Scots about that. Why was Gordon Brown the first call made by... Oh, right. Right, David. Okay. Interesting. How do, Scotty? Lee sent 260 red roses the first time. There'll be a lot more. Do you know Tom Finney? Yes, of course. Everybody knows Tom Finney. Wonderful. Bless him. Preston North End. Thomas McFarlane's just become a top viewer. It would be a travesty to lose it. Better to reform how it works. And what we're talking about, are you talking about the railways? Absolutely. The railways were excellent. When I was a child, you only had to walk a few yards to get a train, a steam train. I travelled to school on them every day. 4 pence, 4 old pennies, 4 denaries, 4D return. And you could jump on after it had left because the chuff, 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 chuff that the engines needed to get started meant they moved off very slowly. So you could run after the train and jump on and open the door and get yourself in there. How's things? Haven't seen you in a long time. Hi from Belfast. Paul, I was worried about you. Is it not you that used to phone me from Belfast? And I hadn't seen you, and I thought, well, okay, right. Here is the guy. Lee, the wonderful Lee Bandoni, has sent another 540 red roses. There'll be more. What would happen to the NHS and Social Security if we get independence? Well, I don't know. The Department of Work and Pensions, I don't think is devolved, is it? But the NHS, the health service, is devolved. And the SNP slightly lean to the left. Slightly lean to the left or centre. So they want to really protect the NHS. See, the present lot would love to flog it. You know, there's great money in there. So that's that. Social Security. Political fragmentation. Absolutely, Travis. A breakup of the United Kingdom. Hi, Scotty. What do you think of Lady Susan Hussey losing her royalties? Well, Susan Hussey is a wonderful lady. She served Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II for, how long was it, 60 years? I remember Susan's late husband, Marmaduke, Duke Hussey, and Marmaduke was the chairman of Times newspapers, and he was the chairman of the BBC. Yes? He wasn't universally popular with everyone, but he's quite a guy. And Susan Hussey has been a wonderful, wonderful public servant and lady in waiting, a very elegant lady. Now, I don't know exactly what went on because we're not necessarily getting the truth from either side. The palace were very quick to shut down any finger pointing, any concept that there could be racism involved. Now, the palace are not racist. They're not institutionally racist. The royal family are not institutionally racist. The Queen was the head of the Commonwealth, for goodness sake. And if you looked in Remembrance Sunday, all the ambassadors laying wreaths on behalf of the Commonwealth. So, there's no question of race, creed, colour, all that sort of thing. And everybody gets asked, where are you from? I get asked maybe 100 times during a live broadcast, where are you from, Scotty? And I don't take exception. I don't say, I'm born and bred in Scotland, Scottish citizen. So it's a very good question, making small talk, you see. And all I can say is after this, an incident like that will work against people being invited. The palace needs to vet people a little more carefully. Can they stand a conversation? Can they hold their own in conversation? Are they anti the monarchy, anti the palace? You know, are they chasing publicity? All these questions should be checked out. So my advice would be that whoever is responsible for the guest list, for things like that. You see, the honour system was introduced to bring the palace closer to the people. Now, has the palace let its guard down too far? You know, and I mean, like all institutions, are they now box ticking to ensure balance? Have the wokies got a hold of the highest offices in the land? You see? So we need to be careful, and we need to look into all these things, look into backgrounds and what have you. But that certainly will not have done any good. Lee Bandoni has just sent me a fortune on YouTube. So Lee has sent a fortune on TikTok, and now he's sending a fortune on YouTube. Lee, I can't thank you enough. I used to work with non-verbal young people, and that was thank you. So there you are. DINKY-DOO, vote no. Vote no to what? Rab. Anyone who wants independence is seriously uneducated. Scotland can't survive by itself. Stephen, anybody who says Scotland can't survive by itself is seriously uneducated. Let me explain to you. Scotland subsidises Westminster to the tune of around £75 billion per annum. All its income goes to Westminster and gets thrown in there and isn't attributed to Scotland. All the produce from the larder of the UK, Scotland, has not got the saltire on it. It has the Union flag, right? There is no case ever been made. When you hear silly nonsense like, Scotland couldn't stand on its own and all that. At the moment, we send 75 billion and we get 28 back as pocket money. So that's your Barnett formula. Lord Barnett, Joe Barnett. If that stopped and Scotland kept its own income, that would put Scotland immediately up £48 billion cash. Okay? If Scotland took total ownership of the oil, the gas, the wind and wave power, yeah, and redistributed that to the Scots, we'd almost have free energy. Yes? So, but we need to keep a grip of it because the same happened. Hydroelectricity, you might get free bills. The calculations obviously went wrong. I think hydroelectricity is extremely expensive. So there you are. So, Stephen, you would need to try and qualify your very ignorant statement as to why you think Scotland couldn't survive on its own. It doesn't have a national debt. The Scots provide most of the defence stuff. No thumbs up since you ignore YouTube chat. 87 Opolo. I have never, ever, ever ignored YouTube chat. So less of the cheek. Hello, Kareem. DINKY-DOO. Hello, Scotty and everyone. Hi, Kareem. And why the world is ending. Is asking someone where they're from racist? No. I remember a young person saying to me, these people are being racist to me because I'm from Paisley. What race is Paisley? The buddies. And I've put a video up on TikTok to say, let's end racism by only having the human race, one race. One. Human race. Yes. And let's end it now. And we're all members. You know, because we need to do away with anybody at all, regardless of race, creed, or colour, pulling the race card to be woke. Yeah. To say, you're just not giving me that because of my colour. So we need to put a stop to that. And if we only had the one race, the human race, doesn't matter what race, creed, or colour you are. That's the beauty of Scottie McClue live on the internet. We don't label anyone. So people say, what are your pronouns? We don't do pronouns. What's your background? We don't do backgrounds. All we need on here is a handle to call you by. Same with the calls. Hey, Uncle Scotty, Sep, Dinky-Doo. Fantastic. WEF or QFS? Well, I can't think of anyone who has studied the work of the WEF going for that one. So come on, David. Dinky-Doo. Now, hi, Demi. England can't survive without the Union. I think you're right, me, myself, and I. Well, I know you're right. See, the Union was built on sand, jiggery-pokery and skullduggery. It's an appalling piece of legislation, and Scotland had to seriously devalue its economy to facilitate economic union. So we need to get back to the pound Scots. Now then, H7 Opolo, why are you chicking up? Keep this dude on the air. TikTok, there we are, Mr. Martin. Colin Hogg, how lovely to hear from you. Is everything okay, Scotty? Absolutely, Colin. So there we have it. Yes, no, everything's all right. No problem. Please do not worry. There we have it. Perfectly normal progression. Why are marsupials called marsupials? Because they like sweet treats and soup. I know it's an interesting one. We have talked about deep fried, but I think they like both. There we are. If Scotland had been able to do what Norway had done with their oil money, Scotland would be a much richer country. What would happen to the NHS? And well, we've done that one. And Social Security money. Well, you would get it, Kirsty. It wouldn't be a problem. Morning, Scotty. Morning, Ron. Dinky-Doo. Scottie McClue, hashtag FlowTime. First Lord of the Internet. Guys, I am needing about 20. Well, I'm needing about 2 million followers. But I need another 20 followers this morning. If you're watching and you haven't followed, please. What do we get? Glad to hear it. Yes, absolutely, Colin. So there we are. It was just moving on time, you know. But I'll talk to you about that at some point. Follow us as soon as we can. Good morning, my sweet fellow. Hi, Scotty. Hope you're well. Ray, lovely to hear from you. Dinky-Doo. Paul says, I'm from Belfast and Brexit has definitely championed us towards a united Ireland. Well, you know, Paul, I spoke to somebody very senior who works near to the source of power in Dublin. And they said, I'll be absolutely honest with you, Scotty. I think it's just a matter of time before Ireland reunifies. It's 100 years since they annexed the 6 counties. God save our king, says Rab. Absolutely, Rab. No currency, no military, no NHS. The list is endless of independence. No, Stephen. We've got the lot. We've got the currency, the military, and the NHS. So we've got control of it, as soon as we're independent. There's no monarchy. Where's the Stone of Destiny, Jacob's Pillow? Well, I think, is it not in Edinburgh? Or is it going back to Scone? Morning, Scotty. How are you feeling today? We're brilliant Scottish TikTok famous. There's the wonderful Glenn Peacock. Scotty, is it coming home? When you say coming home, do you mean coming home to England or Scotland? Well, Wales are out, aren't they? When the English think we can't survive without them. I know. Well, no, in fairness, I could never have any degree of anti-English. I adore the English people. Worked there many, many a year. Lovely people. I think they've been fed propaganda that they are the superiors and Scotland are the inferiors. And they just need to be informed. Hello, Scotty. Keep up the phone ins. Love the content. Diker, no problem. If anybody wants to phone this morning, they can. How are we for time? We've got about 19 minutes. Guy, I need 20 more followers, guys. Come on. Split the parliaments, never split the crown. Listen to Scotty. Absolutely, Robert. Scotland owns the crown since 1603. So King Charles is effectively part of the Scottish monarchy. He's got a lot of Stuart blood in his bloodlines. His mother was 50% Scots. His grandmother was 100% Scots. His grandfather was a direct descendant of King Malcolm II. I found out McCLUE is genuine royalty. Don't panic, I won't be claiming anything, but I go back to the Bruce. Yes. One of my lot married a Bruce in 1300. And I was discussing it with a historian because the family gave the monks the land to build Paisley Abbey. And I was discussing it with a historian and he said, Scotty, I think you're royal. And I said, really? And he said, yes. And he explained. Isn't that amazing? So there we go. So you can split the parliaments because that's political. And they've only been together since 1707. But you never split the crown, which is apolitical. The Scottish crown, nemo me impune lacessit. Whodor meddle we me. Nobody attacks me with impunity. Just like England thinking they created football. Scotland created the football of today. British monkey, Scotland has created really everything we rely on today. So, roads, railways, steamships, the condensing steam engine, paraffin oil, tar macadam, pneumatic tiles, penicillin, radar, television, and we're still doing it. I mean, top internet games, the Scots. Now, Demi, don't worry about that. Just thinking. Hello, Scotty from Liverpool. Mandy, we love the bones of you from Liverpool. Dinky-Doo, I say. Scotty, is it coming home? Glenn says, if we beat France, we beat Portugal, then Brazil in the final. Yes, somebody said the other day they thought Brazil might win. Lovely to have you with us, Mandy. Kirsty says, I'm scared if we get independence because of disability money in the NHS. That would never, ever be affected, Kirsty. Why would it? Do you know what I mean? You know, unless your disability was going to disappear, why should the money disappear? You see? You couldn't make a royalty out of me more than an English education did. McCLUE, abolish the Lords. Why would you want to do that, Nico? Look at the positives. You see, people need to get rid of the chips on their shoulders and actually look at something properly. So if you say, should we get rid of rich people? Why? Because I'm poor. You know, unwise. Because you're a lot poorer without the rich people. Power to the unions. Well, Scott, I have to say, the way the government has behaved, you know, they're not making any sense. They were trying to tell us last night, government source, tried to tell us they thought 4% was quite a good settlement, a good offer. You know, I mean, I'm no great lefty, but for goodness sake. No, and also trying to hint that the union would lose the support of the public. Never, ever in a month of Sundays, no matter how much they try to split us up, will these unions lose support of the public, because it's the public that need them at the moment. The government are not serving the public. Power to the people, says Diker. I think we're a bit away from that, Diker. Wales and the United Ireland, along with Scotland, being independent from England, please. Well, I said this, and I said it on a talk radio station. In Liverpool. Serious journalist who didn't quite know Scottie McClue asked the question, should we rebuild Hadrian's Wall? And I said, yes, but just round about Watford, and everything else becomes Scotland. Now then, shame on an elected government that targets its electorate. Stoffel, you're 100% correct there. Not once do you see the private sector striking. That's because they'd be sacked instantly. Well, Stephen, if you lose your public sector, the country's finished. Yeah. If they damage the railways, the transport infrastructure, the teachers' education, the NHS, nurses, who else is striking? Everybody's striking. Lecturers were striking, and the teachers are going to strike again tomorrow, I think it is. Good morning, my McClue. Elizabeth, what a lovely thing to say. Guys, I can't believe how quickly it's passed this morning. We've been on here for just coming up to 50 minutes. I'm in England as well, Liverpool. Mandy, I know Liverpool like the back of my hand. Scottie McClue is huge in Liverpool. I may come back to get you all sorted out. Soft public sector workers. Well, Stephen, it's not that they're soft. I think it's the fact that they have tried to accommodate everything. So public sector workers are sometimes their own worst enemies. When their powers that be try to squeeze yet another pound of flesh out of them. Because they're highly intelligent people, they go, well, I suppose if we really put ourselves out and had a dreadful, dreadful time at work, we could maybe accommodate that, but it would be very, very tough. But maybe we could find, you see, instead of saying no, absolutely not, and saying to the government, don't tell me there's no more money. You found 250 billion for Brexit. New to your posts, you're very intelligent, great words. User 121, I thank you very much. Follow us as soon as you can. Plenty of money, you mean borrowed? No, Stephen, no. There's plenty of money that's been given away. Yeah. Useless PPE, ring a bell? Brexit, ring a wee bell with you? Yes? Anything? Ring a wee bell there? Now the borrowed money, Scotland is not borrowing money. And your tax does not go towards the public sector. Your tax goes to interest on the national debt. So they need to get that down or find out who we owe it to and do them a deal. So we'll give you 10 pence in the pound. You're an old wisdom. Isn't in London. What does that mean? Mandy, Scouse, not English. No. You are English. You're British as well, because there's a country called England. There's no such country as Britain. So the only thing that you would use British for is for a landmass or for the monarchy. In 1704, they went for the British monarchy. Absolutely. Stoffel. Well, Stoffel, we don't go into individuals. On Twitch, too, right? Well, guys, don't be slagging off individuals. We're not a knocking shop, as the great Sir Robin Day used to say on Question Time, when Question Time was quite a force to be reckoned with. Those nurses crawled out the woodwork to give these jags to get paid £15 a person. Called in out the woodwork to give those jags to get paid £15 a person. Right, Elizabeth? Gordon Brown has been wheeled out to lie to us again without comeback or consequence. That's an interesting one, Stephen. I mean, we were told a lot of lies in 2014, but politicians tend to, I would never call anyone a liar, but politicians tend towards misconstruing the truth. You see, they can do. There we have it. Good morning, sir. Dale, good morning. How lovely to have you with us. And DINKY-DOO, I say to you, guys, I need followers. Another 20 followers. If you're watching right now and you haven't followed me, please do so. I think it means popping up to the top left of your phone and a wee click on the plus sign. Follow Scottie McClue. Lee, I can't thank you enough for your kindness this morning. Huge, huge kindness. Daniel says, Guinness or whiskey? When I drank alcohol, which I don't do any longer, so I can drive any time of the night or day, I loved a pint of the black stuff. And I loved a large dram. But I haven't had for years. So there we are, Daniel. Good morning, Sir Scotty. I have an observation for you. Yes, Mr. Pink. Hello, Scotty and all. Hello, Kareem. How lovely to have you with us this morning. Guys, is the camera looking good this morning? If we beat France, we'll beat Portugal and then Brazil. Have you shot any haggis this year? It's not the season yet. I don't shoot haggis until late in January for the buns suppers. People with a lack of education are scaremongering about Scotland. It's astounding. Just because they want to stay in the Union, regardless of the consequences. What we need to hear from a senior politician, the Prime Minister, any of them, is a proper case for why it's in Scotland's interests to remain in the Union. That's what we need to hear. That's what we need to hear, my dears. Yes, there we are. Did you like my veganism there? Oliver, my dear. Oliver. Now then, who we got here? What does devolved mean, Scotty? Well, you're devolving powers from a central hub. Yeah. So how can I devolve something to you, Kirsty? Right. I tend to every Friday pay out the wages to everybody at McCLUE Towers. Okay. I then devolve that duty to you, Kirsty. I say, Kirsty, can you do me a favour? Every Friday, could you pay the staff at McCLUE Towers? Yeah. I mean, we'll give you the wages, but can you pay them? I'm devolving this duty to you. That's the kind of simplest way I can explain it. Cabrahow, Scotty, Patrick Cabrahow, Hakama, Falchi, Key, the Millie Falchi, done Scotty McClue, Agus TikTok, Agus YouTube. Fantastic. Dinky-Doo, Mahal. Kareem has sent me Santa's Elf ×2. Xmas shopping ×1. Santa's Elf ×1. Kareem, you are very, very generous. That is a lovely thing to do. Guys, I think I'm going to have to go soon. Incredible show this morning. Lovely, lovely chats. Lots of you watching as well. We're well into the thousands. Thousands of viewers this morning, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Now then. Oh, Kareem is sending shopping, more gifts, headphones. If I went to Buckingham Palace in my kilt, cap badge, and fly plate, I would expect her to ask, yes, Stoffel, where are you from? You know, and if you said to me, I'm from the Highland Society of London. No, but where are you actually from? Oh, I'm from the Highlands. You see? So it shouldn't be a problem. And I feel that Lady Susan has been flung under a bus to sort of service wokeism, which is not good. So I would hope that Lady Susan is either reinstated. I mean, it's not up to me, it's up to the palace. It's their business. But I hope that everything is put right, and I hope that she hasn't moved an inch from where she was, you know. But the palace, it's a difficult one. I mean, having what in communications and public relations, it's a big ask, and it's a difficult one. And I mean, I once did apply to work in the palace press office. I got a beautiful letter back from the Queen's press secretary at the time. And all it said was, we are a tiny department and we tend not to have many vacancies, you know, but, you know, we'll keep you on file and all that sort of thing. And I mean, that's 40 years ago. And I was at a function and I was very privileged to meet the Queen's press secretary. And we had a chat about it. We had a lovely, lovely chat. And what was extra beautiful was it reached my ears that the Queen's press secretary said, my goodness, that Scotty McClue is well informed. Isn't that lovely? The Queen's press secretary saying Scotty McClue is well informed. You couldn't make it up. There you are. So wonderful stuff. But I think that, sorry, yes, I was going to say having what in communications at senior level. It's a tricky one because you want to shut that down right away. But I'm just hoping that Lady Hussey has not suffered in the process too much, you know, because she doesn't deserve that. Now, it's the first time I've been in this live. I love it. I love the cap too. Thank you, Nat. I'm going to have to go. Love you all. Oh, wow. I had to go there, guys, because the time was up. And I think we'd actually gone slightly over. Yes, we have gone over. But we'll maybe pop back at some point and have another chat with you all. What a wonderful, wonderful morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. If you ever get fed up with the mainstream media and you want something thoroughly decent to watch and listen to, please feel free to come and join us, you know, because you'll get a lot of lovely people on here from TikTok, YouTube. I need lots more subscribers on YouTube, and I need you all to start sharing the YouTube. It's the world's best kept secret at the moment. The TikTok is huge. We've had thousands watching this morning. Tremendous. So thank you for that. And we'll catch up soon. Have a lovely day. Remember to stay fabulous. And from me, Scottie McClue, as we say in the very best of circles, dinky-doo. And stick out your tongues and say ta-ta. Are we ready? Pa-pa.